Oh, look at this. Hanging out with this beautiful tree boa. How's that for beautiful and bougie? Okay, well, let's get this show on the road because, as lovely as she is, I love her back. And so, I wanted to talk about a couple things in this little 5 minute period today on coffee and snakes about what to do in case of emergency, in case you need to get out of a place fast and you have to get a place for your snakes that will protect and save their lives. So, with that, let me sit down and grab a nice little sip. Oh my goodness. Say hello to Kraken. He is our tree boa. He is our Hogg Island. He is, as far as I know, not a 100% tree Hogg Island boa, but you can definitely tell beautiful, beautiful patterning. Not a part of the Colombian red tails, because those are the boa constrictor constrictors, as far as I am willing to, well, or as far as I know right now, and he is part of the BCIs, the boa constrictor inspirator. So I have no idea exactly what that's supposed to mean, but if you are more curious about that, that is a Hogg Island boa. So they are endangered in their environment. It is an endangered species, and they are fabulous. They only reach about that size generally, and that is exactly what he likes to do. So I'm not really going to mess with him too much. Oh. I was watching the videos earlier, and I did notice that with every cup of coffee, I was just more like, ooh, buzzy. So I'm going to try to avoid that this round of video. So anyway, let's talk about safety. So with a guy like this, definitely, the boa constrictors are aware. So, you know, if you start to toggle with them, you know, in an emergency situation, if you're all stressed out and you're just like freaking out trying to get them somewhere, and he's all freaked out and stressed out and doesn't want to go anywhere because he is just a big, he's just a big muscle of love. Straight up, yeah. So anyway, so what you do is, you know, try to find something that you know, the likelihood of them being able to fit into. His thing, the emergency thing, is a pillowcase. He hates the pillowcase. Or if I do have a tub available with a closable container, that is also a space as well, depending on what, when, and where. We're Pacific Northwesterners, so we always have to think about the worst. But that's why we love our lives and are totally inspired to do cool shit like this. So, yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be part of the 46% of the population out there who are fearful of snakes or whatever it is, you know, because why? Oh, so cute. I love this guy. He's so cute. But yeah, so in that instance, you know, make sure that you do have something that is workable. And if you've never seen Snake City before, definitely take a look at the Snake City videos, because they've got, you know, this thing, yeah. That is a job that I don't think I would ever want. I love what they do. Definitely. Very cool. But anything. So you've seen some of the milk or the corn snakes that we have. So smaller snakes. You would be so surprised as to, you know, how small, you know, something will actually constrict if it's in a place where it's, you know, nervous. So something like this is actually ideal because, number one, if you do need to heat pack it, you know, you can add like one of your hand warmers here. So it's insulated, it's not going to burn them, and it's definitely for an emergency-only situation. You know, you got the double zipper, you know, you put them in a little pocket here, and, you know, at that point, don't worry about the water, just make sure that you have enough space to actually, like, give them, you know, set them a corner, or someplace that's actually difficult for them to open and maneuver on their own, to just give them a little air pocket, and then also ensure that they do not get out or unzip by taking a little tiny piece of string or zip tie or something like that, and actually ensuring that that width is not going to go any further than the snake's head. Yeah, cool thought, bro. Yeah, I know, right? I can't believe it. Anyway, also we use totes, so make sure that we have the holes on all sides, making sure that there is enough ventilation in here to actually keep it air temperature and warm enough to keep the snakes if you are in a situation where it is not a worry about the temperature, such as the milk snakes or the corn snakes and stuff like that. So corn snakes, room temperature, no problem. Anything that has a temperature restriction, you're going to want to make sure that it has a definite base of insulation to ensure that they can stay as close as possible in an emergency situation for potentially up to 72 hours or maybe even longer. So that's what they're saying. So if you're prepping for that 2-week period that they potentially say could happen, in case any infrastructure, also water. Make sure they're drinking water. Our Doomeril boa sat and drank 1 pint of water in front of me. It took her like 15 minutes, but literally I sat there and watched her just drink and drink and drink and drink. That's what you don't usually think about with the snakes, but anytime you have something like this, you obviously have muscles. And what do muscles require? Well, calcium, but most importantly, we are made up of 96% water. So make sure that you're realizing that stress is going to stress them out. They are going to expel, some of that humidity, and they love to drink water anyway. So they're a water species. They're a little water dragon, essentially. So make sure that they are accounted for as well in emergency situations. Stuff like this. You would not, like, Deity can totally fit inside this thing. No problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I could probably even get the California King in here. It would probably be a bit of a hassle. It would probably take a little bit more time than I would want, but in a situation like this would definitely be able to help. So have the California King snake size, 4 foot to 6 foot snake, no problem for emergency situations. Also, just make sure that you have sets of tongs. Make sure that you have paper towels, because shit's gonna happen. Yes, I know. The puns around here are insane. Hand sanitizer. Make sure you have that hand sanitizer. In an emergency situation, this is pretty much all we have. So if there's something that goes bad and you have to conserve water, you are not washing your hands for weeks and weeks on end. Make sure you have some extra hand sanitizer for everything else that is associated with it. And that's basically it. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Emergency Preparedness. Also, make sure that if you get the chance, this is actually a really good lesson in life as well. Alarms and timers are so important. They're so great at telling you what you can improve on. So do yourself a favor. Take a little bit of time between whatever it is that you're doing or whatever YouTube video you're watching. Set a timer for 5 minutes. In that emergency set timer, try to maneuver as fast as you can, practice it. Try to practice it. Also, get to know your snakes. Get to know how they respond in a situation like that. Do they all squish up, or do they just bolt and get the fuck out of there? So make sure that that's something that in an emergency situation as well. So anyway, shout out to Anchorage, Alaska. You guys just had one. I love and miss my friends, family up there, all you guys. I'm glad that everybody was safe and no fatalities. So cool. This is why I love you, Alaska. Anyway, so shout out from South Anchorage, bro, to all of you guys as well. And thank you very much for joining us here at Coffee and Snakes.